A man discovered a wounded wolf deep in the woods and carried it for hours, determined to get it to a vet. But what unfolded next was something no one could have seen coming. Gabriel grew up in a quiet rural town nestled deep in the heart of Alaska. Born and raised there, his childhood was filled with warmth and wonder. Some of his fondest memories were of the long walks he took with his parents through the endless surrounding forest. They would wander for hours, wrapped in the stillness of nature. What captivated young Gabriel the most during these outings was the chance to track wolves. He could spend entire afternoons following their paw prints in the snow, hoping for just a brief glimpse of the wild, elusive creatures. To him, wolves were the most breathtaking animals he had ever seen, mysterious, graceful, and hauntingly beautiful. As he grew older, the forest walks with his parents became less frequent, but his love for the wilderness never faded. Each night, he would listen to the distant howls of wolves echoing under the moonlight, smiling as memories of childhood adventures came rushing back. Eventually, when he reached adulthood, Gabriel left his hometown to attend college and pursue a stable, well-paying career. It was while he was there that he met Sophie, a young woman studying at the same college. The two were instantly attracted to each other, and it wasn't long before they began to date. After finishing college, the two young adults moved back to Gabriel's hometown. Not long after moving back, Sophie and Gabriel got married and quickly had two adorable sons named Aiden and Lucas. One of the activities that Gabriel loved to do with his sons was to take them for walks in the forest, like his parents had done with him. One winter day, Gabriel, Aiden, now 12, and Lucas, 9, were exploring the snowy woods when they heard a strange sound. It sounded like a howl, but the animal making it was clearly in pain. Gabriel told his sons to stay behind him as they crept closer to the noise. As they emerged from the trees into a small clearing, the three boys suddenly stopped. There, in the middle of the clearing, was a young wolf. It looked like it was only just leaving adolescence, but what Gabriel noticed above everything else was that its paw was stuck in a hunter's trap. The animal was making pain noises, which broke Gabriel's heart. He edged closer to the animal, but stopped when it began to growl at him. The man quietly talked to the wolf and crept closer. Finally, he was close enough to stroke the creature's fur while reassuring it that he simply wanted to help. The wolf stopped growling and began to lick Gabriel's hand, apparently sensing that the man didn't want to harm it. The canine, having calmed down, allowed Gabriel to look at the trap. Thankfully, it was a simple trap that clamped shut when stepped on, but there was clear damage to the animal, and Gabriel was worried that the wolf might have a broken paw. Telling his sons to stand back, he opened the trap and released the wolf's foot. However, once the creature was free, it didn't immediately run away like the man thought it would. Instead, the wolf continued to lie in that spot, whining pitifully. Gabriel grew very concerned, knowing that he couldn't leave the young wolf to fend for itself while it was injured. The kind-hearted man did the only thing he could think of. He picked the wolf up. Lucas and Aiden were astounded at what their father was doing. Didn't he know that the creature could kill him with a simple snap of its jaws? Despite the danger, Gabriel was determined to help it. He told his sons that they all needed to head back home so that he could get the wolf to a vet. Amazingly, the wolf stayed fairly still in Gabriel's grip as the man began the trek back home. After hours of walking, Gabriel, Aiden, Lucas, and the wolf finally emerged from the forest. Gabriel made sure that his sons made it back home safely before he quickly took off to the nearest vet. Heaving with the effort of carrying the heavy animal for so long, Gabriel was thankful when he could finally place it down in the vet's checkup room. Amazed by the animal that had just entered his clinic, the vet was a bit wary about checking the wolf over. After all, they were known to be dangerous predators. But Gabriel insisted the vet look at the wolf's paw to make sure it was all right. The vet agreed and carefully assessed the paw. The entire time, Gabriel spoke soft and kind words to the wolf, calming it down and letting it know that it would be all right. Finally, the vet told Gabriel that the wolf's paw was bruised but not broken, and that it could be released back into the wild. "But why was it so lethargic when I set it free?" the worried man asked. The vet told Gabriel that the animal had likely been stuck in the trap for a couple of days and that it was severely dehydrated and hungry. With a bit of food and water, it should be fine to go back out into the woods. Gabriel thanked the vet and told him that he would look after the wolf for the night. Once back home, the kind man left the wolf in his garage along with some food and water. Even though the creature had been kind to him so far, he still knew that it could hurt him or his family at any given time. Upon seeing their father, Aiden and Lucas asked him if the wolf was okay. Gabriel smiled and told them that it would be fine after some rest. Before heading to bed, the two young boys peeked into the garage to take a quick look at the wolf and were amazed at how beautiful it was. The next day, the wolf was feeling better, and Gabriel took that as a good sign that it would be fine in the forest. The man and his two sons opened the garage and watched from a safe distance as the canine made its way out cautiously. Before disappearing through the tree line, the wolf turned around as if to thank Gabriel for his help. Over the next few days, the female wolf could be seen near Gabriel's home, just inside the forest. It was as if it didn't want to leave just yet, but Gabriel didn't know why. One day, the wolf wasn't there, which caused Aiden and Lucas to worry. With their father at work, they knew they shouldn't enter the woods alone, but they were worried that something had happened to the wolf. So the two young boys ventured into the forest by themselves. After walking for a while, Aiden and Lucas realized there was no sign of the wolf. Worse than that, when they turned around to go home, the two boys discovered that they didn't know the way back. Scared of being stuck in the cold forest in the middle of winter, the brothers wandered around trying to find their way back home. But as the sun got lower in the sky and night began to close in, it didn't look too good for the young boys. Just as they were about to give up hope of returning home, Aiden noticed two bright eyes staring at him from the trees. He froze. What was looking at him? Was it dangerous? What should he do? But just then, the eyes came closer, and Aiden was able to make out the young form of the female wolf Gabriel had saved. Aiden gently called the animal closer and let it sniff his hand. Once it knew for sure who the boys were, the wolf's tail began to wag slightly. It licked Aiden's hand before gently nudging him and Lucas. Once the wolf had the boys' attention, it turned and began walking through the trees, pausing every so often to glance back and ensure they were still following. For nearly half an hour, Aiden and Lucas trailed behind the silent guide, until at last they saw a faint light ahead. Overwhelmed with relief, the boys broke into a run and threw themselves into their parents' waiting arms. As Gabriel embraced his sons, he looked toward the tree line and spotted the female wolf standing quietly at the edge, watching the reunion unfold. He stood in awe, realizing that the very creature he had once saved had now returned the favor by leading his children safely home. With deep gratitude, Gabriel whispered a heartfelt thank you. The wolf seemed to give a slight nod before silently retreating into the forest. Gabriel knew he would never forget what she had done. It was a breathtaking moment, a silent bond shared between two worlds that rarely touched. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, press the bell icon to never miss the updates from our channel. Thank you.